Okay.
Oh, ready to go?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank the sponsor, Anisfeld family, Nishmas, Golda, Rivka, Ezra, your side is tonight. Of course, thank the Rov for bringing the alcohol in the last ulmad of this month. Thank you to all of you for coming. All the way from down south, even Rav David Lando made the trek. Imagine it's could have made it b'schus. I would like to think it's b'schus me, probably not. Maybe b'schus Shul because of Philly, but I think it's b'schus the way.
It's not that you sent an email.
I think that too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not enough.
That's a very good.
We always learn Parshas Devorim. There's always the Shabbos Chazayin. There's always Devorim. Partially the originates because of Parshas Devorim. You have the story about the Raglan and Bokovoy Salayla. They cried the night when the Raglan came. So the Banishim says, "After Boichim the Chiyash of Chinam, you cry now for nothing. I'll make you cry." Means you'll cry for something that you'll have to cry. So we have to understand what the Banishim, what's the Einish. You cry for something that you'll have to cry. For the Churban Beis Hamikdash. That's why the Banishim made the Churban Beis Hamikdash. The answer is that the main inyan of remembering the Churban is to remember that the Rebbeinu Shalom is always here. Remember everything that happens from the Rebbeinu Shalom. And to remember that everything the Rebbeinu Shalom does is tight. It's good. Everything is tight. Everything is tight. The Meraglim, the fate of the Meraglim was that they came with all kind of cheshbainis, whatever the Shainim say, why they thought they won't be able to go into Eretz Yisrael. But they shouldn't ask any questions. If you ask questions, and that's why the Chet Egel, it says by the Meraglim, you also got the Einish of the Chet Egel. The same thing, the Chet Egel is also the question. You ask questions. Where's Moshe? Don't ask questions. I said that's why the paraduma is mechaper in the Chet Egel, because the paraduma is a chok. So the chok of doing the chok is mechaper the Chet Egel. It's not that the reason of the parah is because Ayava Ein connect. That's not the reason. Paraduma, there's no one understood. Even Shlomo Melvin understands. Only Moshe Rabbeinu understood it. But we understand that doing the chok of paraduma is mechaper the Chet Egel is because the Chet Egel was, I'm afraid, cautious. You're not allowed to ask kashas. There's not allowed to ask kashas. If the Rebbeinu says something even does make sense, you continue. And the same thing, the Meraglim also, things look funny and everything. There's a terrace for everything. And we know we saw people dying and we know there was a reason for it. They saw the Gebarim, there was a reason for it. But if you ask kashas, the Rebbeinu is Mechas Shalom makes you become nixul if you ask kashas. It's only showing kakashas. The crying on the Churban is why do we cry on the Churban so many years? It's 1953 years, 1,953 years since the Churban. And we're still crying. We're still crying because the crying is that we showing that we have our Korah. We recognize and realize that Rebbeinu Shalom does everything. And everything Rebbeinu Shalom does is the type we realize that everything is very. And the whole tachos of Golus is the end to be a title. Here there's a beautiful word. There's an interesting Yalkut, the Medrash. You know, if you're in Bezdin, a lot of times, you know, by Yerusha, people question if someone, you know, was completely in 109 and they wrote the Tzeh, you know, you always have, you know, people come and argue that, you know, that the person was forced.
Even when they're young? Even when they're young.
Serious senior abuse and this all kind of things that they're not 100%. I once spoke in a good convention in Midwest. I mean, people are best friends. All of a sudden comes to Yerusha. The biggest machlokes. Sometimes better not to have money. Better not to have money. It's mamish. People, as long as it comes, the Saslantavan says, what's the difference between glass and a mirror? This is silver. If you have glass, you could see through. Abyssal silver, you don't see through anymore. Abyssal silver is the mamish become completely meshuchad, become completely blind. So there's interesting medrash. The medrash brings down to Yalkut, and brings down that when Moshe Rabbeinu came to speak by saying before his misa, he said, wait, maybe he's not 100% by a cycle. Maybe what he's saying is not 100%. It's a medrash, but maybe he's not 100%. Maybe he's not 100% by what he's saying. So the medrash says, brings down, signs on that someone wrote Yerusha. They asked question. Maybe he wasn't 100%. So the Gemara says you ask him three things. If he answers on all those three things, hen, and lav, you know that he's the person tested. So what do you test him? You test him, do you know where you are? And do you know what the date is? And you know what's happening around you. The measure says it brings down that someone wants to write so they told the Sefer, we have to make sure that it's good. He says, we'll ask the person, do you know who these people are? That's my children. You know whose house this is? It's my house. You know what the date is? He said, so Zog the Medrash, Moshe Rabbeinu started off saying, I'm 100%, I know what I'm talking about. I know where I am. And you want to know, I know the date also. I know the date. And I know Achrei Koisei Sifra, and I know what's happening also. Moshe Rabbeinu said, so from Sefer, shows up what was the question? Why did they think, what were they worried that Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't 100% in his das when he was speaking now? So he says a beautiful word. He says, we know the Gemara brings down that we learn timeless. So we know we keep Yud Zayin. The Zion is we keep Yud Zayin Tammuz is the Nifka year. The Gemara says, but the Pasuk says that it was the Tammuz. It's up in the Pasuk in Yirmiyah. The 9th day of Tammuz, the Nifka year. So the Gemara says that the Ba'al Sheni, the Ba'al Rishon wasn't as Tammuz. But Ba'al Sheni was Yud Zayin Tammuz, and Ba'al Sheni is more relevant to us. The Shalmi in times gives a different guidance. The Shalmi in times says really it was there no so was dying. But they made a mistake. Because of the Taurus, they forgot the date. So but really was Yud Zayin. But it really was Yud Zayin then also the first Korban also. So because of the Taurus of Korban, so they made a mistake and the third was dying. Correct the Korban Eider. But we talk about the Navi. The Navi Yermi writes it was the text. The Navi wrote, so the Navi is writing the Nevuah. So that maybe they special wrote it to know that people, even though the Navi knew, but he said people made a mistake. People write it because the Taurus was so strong, they forgot the date. You get the date. It becomes a beautiful shot for yourself. Yirmiyah Navi, when he saw the Nevuah, what's going to happen. And the Nevuah, because he saw the Churban, he got so sad that he lost his das. He lost his das. He got so sad. He lost his das. So Mela, when he was looking, the Rebbeinu told him to Zion, and he thought it was tests. So he wrote tests later to see that the source of so much it makes a person lose das. The Torah is so great. So practice up I'm sorry for Moshe Rabbeinu. It says as a Yom Achron, Rashi brings the Sifri. At a Yom Achron, the Rebbeinu showed Moshe Rabbeinu everything's going to happen. All the Torahs are going to happen too. It's amazing. So Moshe Rabbeinu saw those Torahs. He should lose his das. Just like Yirmiyah lost his das. How could Moshe Rabbeinu not lose his das? It says there's another Yalkut. The Yalkut brings down on the Rava the Midbar Barava, that's going on Golas. Katseris is dissolved is the Golda. Katseris is when it's going to be Prozos Yeshu, Klaal Yisroel is going to sit and dissolve, and it's going to be Acham die, it's going to die. So he says, Moshe Rabbeinu saw the Golda right away. He saw the Golas, but he saw the Golas. And Moshe Rabbeinu started off, I'm 100% B'das. Why? Because I see the end. I don't see the Tzoros. I see the Gula. I see the tackles of everything is the Gula. The person should see the tackles of everything is going to be the Gula. You go through Tzoros. So Moshe Rabbeinu, that's why we have the minig on Tisha B'Av. After Chatzos, already you suffer on tefillin, you sit in a chair. I mean, it's still Tisha B'Av. It's still the Churban. And then we say Nachamu, Shabbos Nachamu. What's a Nachamu? We're still in Golos. To remember, there'll be a Gula. If you have the Amunah Shlem, there'll be a Gula, then there's nothing, you're talking about crying for the Churban, but there'll be a Gula. If you know there's a Gula, there's hope. So there's hope. If there's hope, that's the whole tackles to remember. You cry for the Churban, but you have 100% Amunah, there's going to be a Gula. There's 100% Gula. The Rov said to somebody said he has a remnant, the sheikh is coming in 2 weeks. He says, Mr. Apikayr. And the Rama says, you have to say every day today, the sheikh is coming today. Today, there's no Ramazan, nothing. The sheikh is coming today. The person has to have, and if a person lives with that emunah, always lives with that emunah, that he knows that the gula is going to be there, so Mamela, he sees the light at the end of the tunnel. So the tunnel is not so bad. He sees it. He sees he's going to get to the light. So Moshe Rabbeinu started, and that's the Indian of learning Parshas Devorim according to this shot. That right in the beginning, when you know that the Midbar Barava, so you should know that it'll be Chatzeres dissolved. You should know the end will be Gula. No, we're sitting here. You're sitting in the morning. You're crying. You're sitting on the floor after Chatzeres. Why? Because there's going to be Gula. We have 100%. We know for sure there'll be a Gula, and we have to to see the Gula. But we know for sure. There'll be a Gula. We have in the Parsha the 3 Eichos. We have the Eicha of Parshas Devorim. That Eicha Ezra Levadi, the Chacham Masacham, the Achacham, the Rivka, and then we have the Eicha that we learn in the Chaburah, Eicha Oiskalmana, Eicha Oiskalmana, and then Eicha, we have the Eicha that we learn in Eicha Yoshua. So what are the 3 Eichos? The 3 Eichos. So the Medrash brings down, it's a mashal a matruna that she had 3 helpers. One saw the queen when she was in her glory, and then second saw the queen when she was falling, failing, doing the things that she should, and the third saw the queen when she lost everything. Moshe Rabbeinu saw Klaal Yisroel Are. He saw when Klaal Yisroel was in the glory. Yirmi and Navi, Ishai and Navi, in the Torah, Eicha is Kalmana. How it was how the city that was so beautiful, how did it become Kalmana? And then Eicha Yoshua the year when Yirmiyah Navi saw the Churban. So what are the 3 Eichos together? So what Moshe Rabbeinu was saying over here. So first Rashi brings one shot, and according to that shot, Rashi brings down that Klaal Yisroel gave Moshe Rabbeinu a lot of tzoros. He gave him a lot of tzoros. And this is, the very block. It's going to say that every manik should look in this pasuk, and you'll see that's every manik has these tzoros. Every manik has the tzoros. First of all, Eicha. So it says Eicha Esel Levadi, the Chacham Masacham, the Rivka. The Chacham, the Chachonim, they came to the Torah, they start saying, maybe Psak is not good, maybe we need other Dayanim together. They came, they said, look, we maybe. Then Masacham, so he says, Apikorsim Hayu. Rashi brings the Chazal, what's right of course? Morris says, brings down and says, of course, someone who doesn't believe in Tabir. Someone who, if Moshe Rabbeinu came a little early, they said, why did he come early? He's probably had a fight in the house. Probably has some bias problem. He came a little late. So most probably he's planning something against us. Sorry, that's why he came late. So the mayor said a beautiful thing. He said, Moshe Rabbeinu was a daikon. He came at the right time. He came every day at the right time. But people complain, well, why do you always come at the right time? Why do you always come at the right time? It's too early for some people. It's too late for some people. That's, he said that's always, the Mayor Shapiro once said over, he was a member in the Senate in Poland. He was also, and the Rov was a member. On the Rov, they kind of, that he's too much involved. He's getting too much involved. He shouldn't be so involved because on the Shapiro kind of, he doesn't have so much time. He's busy and learning, he's busy. He says, Onami, he says, Vekanu l'Moshe b'makna. The Iron Kadosh Hashem, Pasuk Tehillim. Vekanu l'Moshe, they said, you're too much involved in the makna. The Kadosh and the Iron, they said, Kadosh Hashem, he's too holy. He's not, whatever. So he says the same thing as you find by Moshe Rabbeinu, only down Kael nor Phone. So Rashi brings down two pshat, why did he stand so short? One pshat, because they'll come and say, your sister is suffering, I'm at the tefillah, davening. Another pshat, Rashi brings down, they'll say, but your sister, you daven so much, else you don't daven. Whatever you do is no good. Either he's davening too much, or he's davening too little. How could, he says, that's what you are, you always, so the hiatus, not because the hiatus of Moshe Rabbeinu. Hiatus Moshe Rabbeinu, that hiatus, and Rivka, they always used to go around and make fights and everything. So the three echoes go together. If you have these, if you have Chas v'Shalom Karach, V'Chacham, V'Sacham, Rivka, then it causes later on to echo Ha'isat Almana. Then it becomes at the end, if that's how you are, at the end it becomes, and if you, and the end will be Eifei Yashaboda. That means if another pshat is the Ramban says pshat, and he's Mechulik and Rashi, he brings us to Rashi, it's the free, but he says that these three things that say the chiv for every manik what he has to do, for every person. He says what every person has to do. So he says the chacham is matriach and teaching Torah. The chacham is teaching Torah, Torah, learning Torah. Asacham is to daven for your people, to care for the people. Asacham Masal Yisrael Hashem. The Rivka is when it comes to the Torah, take care of the Torah. So this is the achrayus of every person. But Moshe Rabbeinu says it's not only my achrayus. Echas levadi. Don't think it's my achrayus. Every person has his achrayus. Every person has his achrayus. Echas levadi. You can't expect me alone. It's loyuka levadi. I can't levadi. You can't. The Rebbeinu wants everyone to be involved in these things. Every person has to be involved in these things, to go and do things and help people and care for people. And that's it. So if you don't do that, if people don't care, so that's what the Pasuk says, it became the ear that was Mishpah, and with the Tzedek Yolimba, at the end of what happens, they become go away, and Favri Genovim, and Mishpat, they don't care to be Yosim, they pay Almana. That means if you don't, and it's all bring down, if you're not caring for Yosim Almana, that's already not to go care for another person, do for another person. Today in Antwerpen, the Rav Baba died, was Nifter. I learned with him in Nitro. He told me so there's a story with him that he came to with his children to tour in Eretz Yisrael. So he went to Chaburah. He went between Chaburah and Morris Machpelah. He told the tender to stop here. The tender driver was a guy he knew. There's nothing there. There's nothing there to stop. He said, no, he wants to stop here. Took all the children out. He said, Kinderlich, what do you see here? He said, you see a big cliff, a big mountain. This is where the Azazel was always sent down. Remember, this is where they threw it down, right here. So what's so special? So he says, Kinderlich, if you learn Yuma, you learn Ishiti, the person who wrote the Azazel died that year. He didn't live through that year. He says still there were a line of people who wanted to do it. They had to fight. Why do they want to do it? They're ready to die. They're ready to die in order to bring Parve for Klaal Yisroel. So I'll die, but I can bring. So he said, "Kinder herz, darf sterben, kedai zu bringen to do for." So he started crying down to Rabbeinu Shalom. Rabbeinu Shalom, he said the Churban came because of sin of spinner. The Churban came, but look, people are ready to sacrifice to do for other people, to care for other people, to do for someone else, and that's what Rabbeinu Shalom. And that's what nobody says. That seeing the mishpat the father of the mishpat is with tzedakah together. It means if you don't have tzedakah, you don't have mishpat. If you don't have tzedakah, you don't have mishpat. You have to have. I remember Mr. Alfred to find gave you a hesped on Rav Moshe. So he said he asked Rav Moshe that people used to come to him to get a letter to collect them. He gave us a letter. So he said, why doesn't Moshe check up first? Rashiva should check up, says last it's tzedakah mishpat. First you have to do tzedakah. Without team for Yanim. Then you go mishpat. If you start off with mishpat, you'll never come to tzedakah. You always start, it means first you'll find out later it's no good. But first you have to, so the main thing a person has to know, so the tachlis of the whole Indian of Golda is to remember why we're in Golda and how we can be mechaper. The years because of they didn't realize everyone has to be involved in helping and doing for other people and caring for other people, and and everyone should help to be to help and care for people. This night is Nishmas Anisfeld. Anyone who knew her, she was a person always. I personally, when I came here as the first time we had a meeting to meet with the board 42 years ago. And so where did we meet? At Miss Anisfeld's house. Where was Miss Anisfeld? She was outside. She went to, there was a Klaus Scholar meeting. So she was busy going to the Klaus Scholar meeting. Then she said she also went to Lubavitch at a parade that time. So she went to help there. And
Show you here? Show you here what your mother did.
So and I know I was in the sport and then afterwards she gave a steak supper. I remember and anyway her whole I was there because she came to my chassan. She and Miss Anisfeld came to my chassan and anyway she did. I mean, if you see there's a mirror over there when you come in, she's the one who put it that mirror. The woman used to be the only shul. The woman used to come in from there. So she said, women, when they come in, have to know how they look, and then people, I remember she spoke to me, we have to have a mirror there. We have a woman needs to see when she comes in, people say, I look at her, but anyway, everything and all the chesed and anything to do for others. And that's what we feel, Baruch Hashem, that's the children, to do for others, to care for others, to masakam, to chakam, and the Rivka is to do for other people, care for other people. And that's the Chaburah on the sinus chinam is the havas chinam. Go out of your way to care and do for other people and doing for other people. So Baruch Hashem, the whole besmedrish and everything, now Camp Chaburah and everything is caring and doing for others. One should help doctor that she should be a Yisroel or besmedrish she cared so much for the city, Klaal Yisroel Are, for Camp Chaburah and everything, and the going to show for the family, and you should like to see the Golda and everything.
Oh, man. Sure. Yeah. What is the Rov one?
Yeah.
Easy path.
Amen.
They should move the mirror. Move the mirror. There's a mirror in the wall.
Yeah, that.
Hey. Yeah, yeah. I'm not the princess. Yeah, I know. Then it didn't help. They can't do it, you know?
You better be careful.
Great question. Great question. I know. The Alkut says it that the Yidden asked about Moshe Rabbeinu.
Big
No,
question.
because that is a question I ask every person when I go to
Looking out, it's option again.
Hafton. Sure, great.
So they suspected that Moshe Rabbeinu was already 120, right? Because this was like.
Very good.
Go ahead.
Very good.
Good, good. I will.
Fine.
I know.
And Margaret, again, a granddaughter and it's sort of.
Make a bill for Debbie on Sunday. It's the evening.